Hey y'all, Matt here with Bobcat Bonsai. Don't mind me as I'm being blinded by the super bright flashlight, and we do another episode of Nighttime Bonsai because I always run out of time and, well, there's just not enough time in a day. So today we're going to be tearing into this Gardenia and seeing if there's more than one tree. If there is, awesome. If not, we're going to turn this one tree into a bonsai tree or a pre-bonsai tree and go ahead and get it potted up. Have a nice indoor decoration. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so to start it out, we'll pull it out of this fancy little white pot they gave me, which is then in another pot. We're then going to squinch that. See, we've got some nice roots here, which is awesome. Really now all we're going to do is just break this all apart and check out what's going on the inside. So we're going to use my hand forged root hook that I made and go ahead and begin to get this all loosened up. So this is the first time I've done work with a Gardenia. When I saw it, I really liked the leaves on it more than anything. That was what really drew me into it. So we're not going to do too much top-down pruning because I want to let these grow out and really get some thick trunks, because with this size leaf I need a thicker trunk to go with it. So that's something we've got to let happen. So we'll get it. Really, I just want to see how many are in here, if it's one or two, and then that will be a big factor deciding into a lot of things and how we're going to proceed. But because of this right here and the movement, I'm going to say it's probably at least two. So I'll finish getting this root ball broken up and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so here's what we found. We've got this nice little double trunk right here that I think I'm going to just pull right in there. And I'm going to end up planting down around this area and getting these spread out. And this one I'm going to hope fuses together right in here, which would be beautiful. And I would love that. Even if we were to get it to fuse up to here and get a nice triple trunk. But we may end up just cutting that one and then letting the other lower ones grow and fuse. So this one's going to end up going in here and having a nice little growth. I believe that's where I'm at with that one for now. I really like this one. This one's getting super thick, which is awesome. We're gonna end up cutting this root off right here. Sorry, bonsai in the dark is harder than what I ever plan on, because other than where the flashlight's shining, I can't see nothing. I'm just going to get rid of that root. So now this one for sure is going in here. And I really like how thick that's getting, but I want it to continue to thicken up. So I am going to end up taking off this little branch right in here. But I am going to leave these two to continue to grow. I'm going to leave this one. I'm going to cut off the flower for now though, because, well, not for now, it's gone forever once I cut it, but I'm getting rid of that to save back on some of the energy. We got this nice little tag up here. We're going to get that taken off somehow or another. All right, so that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing with this one. This one's going to go in. So I'm going to get them all potted up. I haven't even shown you this one. This one, I'm going to put... This one I think I'm going to pot up as well. I'm going to get rid of this root right here and get rid of that one there. And in the process of getting rid of these two, I'm going to wrap the base of this trunk in grafting tape right down in here, in hopes to get a nice solid fusion. So I've got to decide how I want it to go in here. I may end up having to cut some of the branches off the top and just kind of pull this in like this. I'm not sure yet. But it's got some white powdery mildew on here that I need to deal with as well. In theory, that's not even connected into the other one, so I could grow that separate, but I don't want to. So we're gonna have to get that one wrapped, and then we'll decide from there. So for now, I'm gonna get everything potted up, and then I'll be right back with you again. Now we're just gonna go through and trim them up a little bit. This was that little one I said I was gonna pot up so that it could grow a little bit more, and I think it's looking really good. I'm going to leave this as a sacrificial branch here just to grow, and pretty much, you know, I'm going to cut it off later. But for now, let's just kind of give it a little bit of something here so that it's not just chilling and kind of getting in the way of everything else that's trying to grow. So we're just going to come in here and give it a real thin wire, and this should be plenty to get it to just come back here and go up. Let's see. Sometimes you just gotta twist with the wire a little bit just to really cinch it in place where you want it to go when you're using a thinner wire. So that's what we're going to do with that one. Not too much movement, just a little bit to get it all in the right direction of where we're trying to take this to. And well, it's sacrificial, so we're just going to open it up there. There we go. Okay, so now the rest of this stuff is growing in, and I do have to get these all watered in then as well. So inside this white pot, it's not nearly as useful looking at this tree as if we were to look at it inside its main pot here. There we go. Sorry, that was in really close. So we've got this branch right here, and that's starting to cause a knuckle up in there, so we are going to cut that one off. We got this little guy here, which we're going to leave, as well as this one. We'll leave this one for now, just to wait and see what happens with it. We do have this split right here to get rid of. There we go. So this is going to end up being a double trunk as it comes up and through. So we're going to get rid of this little guy back here. Again, to avoid some of that taper, we're going to add some wire and just bring this one over and into this section here. And we're going to actually just take off this piece right here, just to get this one growing as its own little leader up in that direction. Which even that may not be. I'm struggling to decide with this one because I'm trying to grow it. I think I'm going to get rid of that whole branch and let it grow up in this way. And then we're going to let the other one grow out in the other direction. So let me come in here and just get a quick little beautiful. That's what I wanted. And that tells me for certain I am getting rid of this one down low. Yep. This one I'm going to leave though, because I'm still not certain about that one. That may become the leader for the second tree at some point. But that's about all I'm going to do with this one. I'm going to let it thicken up for the most part the rest of the way. Let's look over here on this side. I like the way this is going. I do want to dedicate one top. And since this one's kicking this way, I'm going to mirror it and take the other one in that direction right there. Now, again, doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to keep that one as a leader. I may end up switching to this one. Most likely not this back one here. That one's we'll get rid of. We don't need it. Alright, so that's this little guy right here. Let's keep on moving and hit the next one now. Alright, next one we've got is right here. Okay, so this one was the it is the single trunked one. So this one we've got some wire that's holding it in place. We really need it to thicken up going down to the base here. This branch is cool and all, but we're going to take it and trim it back to right in there. Let that little one take off. This one we're going to leave. Then there's one on the back side here that I am going to take off. So this one I'm going to let the tip continue to grow out, and this one I'm going to end up letting get really long, so I want that to thicken up. I'm probably going to end up having to choose between these two branches at some point because, well, it is going to be a little bit weird if we have all this growing in one spot here. But for the time being, we're going to leave these two to help thicken up in the base region. I have a feeling I'll keep this one and get rid of that one in the long run. But for now, we'll let it go. Up in here, we've got some real tight growth going on. And that one little region there, so we're going to trim that out. And again here, it does turn into having like 2 liters, almost 3 liters in this one area. I'm going to end up just getting rid of this little guy here and letting this be the main growth upwards now. So I know for the time being it looks kind of crazy because some of these branches are super long, but I'm letting all the branches grow out in order to gain some more growth on them. I am going to come in here though and grab some of these leaves that are in lower and get rid of them. And then up here we have 3 branches growing out of the same spot, so we're going to get rid of 2 of them and then keep this little one up there. Alright, so sorry, I had to run and do something real quick and I kind of got distracted on what I was working on here. So getting rid of leaves down low, and we're almost dedicating this as the new top, but I want to get some more grabs in here. To really just if we get a good enough grab with the wire, it'll let me bend a lot easier. And then we can add more wire up higher. I think we're gonna have to add a thicker wire down lower. I just don't have much thicker than what's on there. I have like one small piece of thick wire. And I'm not even sure that's going to help with how thick this trunk is at this point. We're probably going to just have to accept a clip and grow method. So we're going to try to get a bend up and in that area right there. That is going to be the plan here. So now I just have to get and wrap some of this thicker wire to make sure I get a good grab on the trunk. So that we can get a nice bend right in this region. Now I'm going to cut this wire right there. Alright. So now we should be able to get a nice bend down in this direction here. And then bring it back up and in this direction. And finish that wire back behind it. So when we do that, this branch seems almost obsolete because it seems like it's in the way. But we're going to leave it for now because I think we're going to end up pulling it down and pulling that one back. But for the time being, we're not going to do anything other than that with the trunk there. We will... Nope, I don't want that one. We will end up doing a little bit more with it later. Just at this point in time, I'm kind of happy with it. I'm going to add just a little bit more wire. I cut it off sooner than what I should have, honestly. So we're just going to come in from this direction right here and just really hook, because we want to get movement in this top portion here. This wire is definitely overkill up towards the tip of this thing now. I will say that for certain. Alright, so we're going to take this and just kind of bring it up. And then just really bring some nice movement up and into that spot right there. And down through here. We're going to bring it back and more forward than where we were originally. So because I cut the one wire too short, it's now causing me some fight here inside this one. So we got that. I'm going to add a little bit more wire here and then I'll be right back with you again. Alright, so we got these smaller branches wired up, so now all we're going to do is just add a little bit of movement in here and bring everything a little bit more into life here. Alright, so this one, I know we said we were going to bring out here, and for the time being we're going to keep it, but the way it's looking, I might not be able to. Because we have two of them stacked on top of each other. This one I definitely want to come around here to the back and stick up. And this one right here, I want to bring back over to the side here. And then back to the front. Alright. So that's going to be it on this little guy. Just a little bit of movement here. Pretty. Alright. So now we're going to get on to the last one here. I feel like I've kind of killed you all on everything with these, so I'm just going to do this one up, get the wire on it, and then I'll be back with you. Below the surface here, I did wrap the triple trunk in grafting tape, and we're all set up to go. So I'm going to trim it, I'm going to wire it, and I'll be back with you and we'll shape it. Alright, so right now we got a whole mess of wire everywhere. Look at this. Everywhere, my friends. So I'm hoping to get a good front view. Honestly, this whole thing's going to end up having to go, most likely. Not most likely, it will. Because that's growing back into it, so that's going to end up having to go. This one's going to come out this way, that one's going to come out that way. This one we're going to keep for now as a sacrificial branch to thicken up the middle one, but then that's going to go and we're going to just ride it out through the front. But as we're getting through all this, we are going to begin to get some shape going here. So let's get some shape going here. Just a little bit at a time. And we'll end them all pointing upwards. Alright. So we got this little guy over here. We're going to take this one and drop it down to the back and then back up to the front. Then this little guy back over here, we're just going to kind of position out of the way because that's going to end up being cut off, but we're going to leave it for now just to grow. Grow and show. Sacrificial branch. Let's get this thing all set and out of the way here. Make sure this thing gets some nice growth going. This little guy right here is super important. Alright, this one is most likely going to become the new main leader of this tree. So because of that, we need to make sure that it's getting a nice little look up into the air. That's what we're trying to get with everything right now. It's just a nice little look up and into the air. But we also want to try and get some movement where we can out of some of this stuff. Like, just trying to get some movement. And not break off all the branches. Alright. So we're kind of hugging everything in towards me right now. I know that's not always like a fan favorite of things to do, but I like the hug look, where it looks like it's got a little head and then it's reaching out to give you a hug. So this is where our little head's gonna be coming in. Alright, so right now it's kind of funky, but I think over time it'll get a nice look to it. So that's it. We've got 3 little trees that we made out of one this evening, and I like it. I'm actually super happy with it. I'm going to just clean up a little bit, get my cover photo done. Hopefully you all enjoy it. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content, you should subscribe to my channel. And if you really enjoy my content, you should hit the bell notification so you get notified every time I release a new video. Thank you.